How's it going, everyone? Nate Rathman here from Spiritual Stewardship. I'm hopping on here today to make a video that hopefully you'll find value in. And all of my content that I'm trying to put out here is really to share different ways, different ideas, different things going on in my personal spiritual journey that I think will be helpful or applicable to you on your own spiritual journey. And I'm really encouraging all people to take ownership and stewardship of their own life path in their own spiritual journey, to know that this process that we're all doing, this humans in the process of being, it's such a unique journey, and one size does not fit all. So I put out a lot of different ideas in these videos, and there are different ways that I have cultivated my own practices and my own mindsets around kind of different unique spiritual practices and whether or not they work for me. There's so much stuff out there. Obviously, you can find a technique or a tool or a process or an orientation to fit anything. So that's amazing. I love that. That's why I'm here. I'm just adding one more voice to the conversation and sharing some tools and tips and techniques that work for me. And the one that I'm talking about today is a process put out by Dr. Joe Vitale. He wrote a book called The Remembering Process. And this is the idea that instead of like scripting out and writing out like a past event already happening, you do this imaginative kind of talk where you remember an event that has never happened. Often in the book, the remembering process, he's using the tool as not just a way to kind of raise your vibration, but also as a way to gain insight into maybe the next possible move. So by putting yourself in the position of remembering how you got to a goal, you can actually like walk your way back from that goal and figure out some action steps. I think that's fantastic. When I read the book, that was one of the coolest parts. It's been a while since I've been doing anything from that book. I read it like a year ago. But I have recently been using the remembering process as like verbal dialogue when I'm walking in the morning, almost like affirmations. Like I'll walk around and I'll just be like, you remember that moment when you realize that you have inherent worth just because you're a human, because you exist? You remember that moment that you had the realization that a blade of grass or a tree or a cloud or the sun has as much inherent value as you or anyone else out there in the world? You know, do you remember that time when um, there was so much good luck in your life? You had money showing up unexpectedly. Somebody invited you on an all-inclusive trip. So I do things like this where it's like it's not specific things and it's not even really meant for specific outcome, but the goal is to kind of like really enjoy and savor. And as I'm thinking about this, like almost like salivating for life, you're like, oh, you remember this moment. And I think about this when I think about past memories that I actually did love, like certain trips or certain events or certain things that happened in my life. And when you remember them, you really just viscerally go there. And the idea is take that kind of visceral event and activity and create a kind of mindscape around something that has not yet happened but you wish to happen, or a feeling or a beingness in you, maybe a sense of ease, a sense of joy more often, or a lightness or a grace that you want to bring more of it into your life. And just having these playful moments where you're like, oh, you remember when it's almost like I flipped that switch and I started feeling this way, or whatever it is. You just dot 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 down the line, and you have to be playful. And I uh, sometimes I just let my brain get a little bit too rigid, and I have to kind of like shake it around and say, this whole thing is meant to be a journey. It's meant to be fun. It's a process, the living process. There's going to be natural ups and downs. And if I can do some of these little things here and there to remember to be a little bit more playful, a little bit more lively and step into my imagination and really trust that the universe wants to co-create with me. And then if I can get myself on that co-creative kind of vibe, that I'm going to start having that reflected back to me. So that's the main reason that I'm doing this. I'm trying to really detach from outcomes in terms of like having something that I'm remembering actually happen. I'm trying to stay in the feelings that the process is giving me, because the feelings are actually the things that are going to be moving me towards those manifestations, right? The feelings are the things that kind of tell the universe, through your energetics, through your law of attraction signaling, that like I am a match with this reality. I can bring it into my mind through this memory, and I can get flooded with those feelings, the endorphins, the senses. All of it helps to make that thing that's in your mind, the construction, a reality. Again, stay playful with this stuff. If it works for you, that's great. You know, I tried to do some actual scripting, like written out scripting. And I don't know if it's because I'm writing and it puts me into a different part of my brain or what, but it's not the place where I can allow myself to be as creative. But I found that in having this fake one sided conversation, which kind of makes me look like a crazy person when I'm walking down the road, luckily I have my earbuds in. Um, I've accessed that more light-hearted, kind of playful side, and that's really where all of this stuff is going to gain the most traction. Is when you can stay light, you can stay creative and imaginative, and really just doing it for the fun. And that's why I have been continuing to do it, is because it's been making me laugh. I'm smiling, and when I kind of wrap it up naturally after 5 or 10 minutes, I just feel like I just had a great conversation with myself. So give it a try. I encourage you to see if it's something that resonates for you. It's just one more of many different tools out there that can help raise your vibration. So thanks everybody for checking it out. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.